Good morning friends. In today's video we're going to learn about the complexities involved in maintaining and sustaining a relationship. We're going to learn about this concept by taking an example or case study of Canadian couple. Both these parties are into medical field and both of them are doctors, and the male party has spent almost 16 years of his valuable time investing in learning and honing the new skills and upgrading himself and trying to become the best version of a doctor in his field. And the other end party, she is into research. Both of them are very much accomplished persons, and the male party has kept himself away from any sort of relationship because of his conservative family background and because of his religious lineage, that he felt that any premarital intercourse or having any relationship outside of marriage or before the marriage is not correct thing according to him. So he abstained and he kept himself away from any physical contact. So to say frankly, he is 39 and still virgin, so it's a kind of rarity nowadays. They got connected via a mutual friend, and sooner they established that they are both on the same track and they want to, it's better not to waste any more time, and it is better to get hitched and start their marital life. Sooner after the marriage, that guy came to know that his wife is not at all into any sort of physical intimacy, and she frowns upon the concept of having physical intimacy, and let alone she is not interested in having kids. So he got a cultural shock that where the pretty much in his culture, so people who get married within 1 or 2 years of time, they try to conceive and they will try to have children, and that's the normal routine because of his own ambition, because of his own financial difficulties or whatever mental blocks he was having. He postponed his marriage. Now he is into 39. Whenever this person brings about the concept of physical intimacy and having children, she absolutely negates the overall conversation and says that she is not into it. And another concern for this person is he got into this prenup agreement where he categorically signed a document stating that if he initiates the divorce, so he had to take the toll, and almost 80% of his assets would be given to his wife. On top of that, she gets to have his house, and he was very much afraid that all these 15-17 years of investment, or all these 15-17 years of struggle that he had bored, and at the end of the day he had to lose everything that he valued. So he is coming from a particular Punjabi background of South Asian nature, and in his religion, in his community, the divorce is always looked down upon, and they think that it's the something wrong with the man at the end of the day, no matter what the original circumstance, but people always put the blame on the man. So he was very much afraid that he is getting married lately, and he can't go outside and speak to someone or try to pacify her. So pretty much Canada, if you read any document, any legal document, you will come to know that Canada is like pro-woman, and no matter what the circumstance, at the end of the day, the heat is on the man and he had to bear the brunt. So both enrolled for couple counseling, and while we were having conversation, and we came to know that she was abused at the age of 7 and 8 by her own uncle, and she was very much afraid of any physical contact or that sort of thought, but she haven't revealed that thing to anyone, and not even to her husband. It took so long for us, for like 8 to 9 sessions, to make sure that she is comfortable speaking about the issue, and whenever we used to bring that topic, she used to just switch off her phone or just to cut the call. And because these conversations and these counseling sessions were happening over online, and because of the confidentiality and because of the confidentiality clause, we were not allowed to even reveal it to her husband. So after the 9th session, we talked to her husband and said that Mr. X, your wife is going through such post-traumatic stress disorder, and she is carrying childhood trauma and abuse. And if you ask her to continue, or if you ask her to be physically involved or to take the course of having children, she might end up doing any physical harm to herself. So the trauma was to that extent. So if anybody tries to be physically involved or brings the topic, she used to recoil, and she used to not at all feel comfortable talking or just acknowledging the concept. So this therapy went for 2 years. Somehow she got comfortable, and she was okay to talk about the concept, but she was not ready to have children or any physical intimacy. So both the couple have mutually decided to end their marriage after couple of years, even though he was feeling very bad for her, and he wanted to support his wife, and he wanted to be there for her. But this guy also have societal expectation and societal pressure to have a children and to settle down in life. At the end of the day, he got into it, and they both mutually got separated. When you hear such instances, and when you hear such stories, when you hear such news, so it's easy to put blame on women, and she could have come clean before marriage, and she could have saved that guy's embarrassment. No, but it's pretty hard for a person sitting outside and to judge such instances. Childhood trauma, childhood abuse is like anything. It kills you from inside. People think that it's the only case with the women or girls, but in my career I have seen 25 to 30% of the cases are male children and grown-up adults. They are recounting their own childhood trauma and childhood abuse instances, how a relative or how a known person, how his father's friend or how somebody known person traumatized them physically by abusing them. So it's pretty hard for these people to comprehend and to adjust with the reality. We need to have that empathy, and we need to have the patience and love and care towards childhood trauma clients. My only submission in this video is, if you are going through such instance or if you are going through such episode, it's better not to carry forward with you along, and you need to find somebody to safely open up about such episodes, and just get rid of the burden, and make sure that you move ahead in the life. And that female client might not get married in next 5 years or 6 years, or might get married after 7 years. Let them give their time and space. We shouldn't force anybody to, like, you need to get out of that dilemma and trauma. How long you want to carry that? It's up to an individual and their coping levels and how they are processing that emotional burden. So it's not, we doesn't have any panacea or magic pill, just we gonna give them and they're gonna pop up and everything gonna become fine. It's not the case, and it's often not the case with the people who doesn't have the proper support system. For example, if we consider this case, she was not having any brothers or sisters to share what she is going through, and she doesn't have great friends also to share, whom she could share and tell what she was feeling and going through. And she carried all this burden along with her, and she must have been through hell tunnel. So we need to be more considerate about their own situation and circumstance, and be more empathetic and not be judgmental about their decisions. And it's not a good thing to take a moral high ground and judge somebody because they doesn't have any control on their decision. And I would like to share another caveat. With the consent of the client, we shared this case study because it can be educative and it can be academic for somebody who wants to learn about childhood trauma, or who wants to know about childhood trauma, or who might going through similar phase of life, but they doesn't know where to take the respite, where to take the help. So in order to encourage them, we do share certain sorts of episodes without revealing much about the client's background. So until next time, this is Gautam signing off. Namaste.